So it's about German history this week, and I'm talking about not just German history, but Jordan Peterson, the famous psychologist's particular take on German history. Hi everyone, it's Jeff Rich here from the Burning Archive. I'm just dropping in to say what I'm writing about this week in my Substack at jeffrich.substack.com, my free weekly essay on history, culture, literature, from the Burning Archive. Jordan Peterson has done a video together with the historian Neil Ferguson, a Scottish-American historian, that explains what this German problem is and why it moves him so passionately. The reason is because the German problem refers to how an advanced culture, advanced civilization like Germany in the early 20th century fell into a kind of moral collapse and violence and horrible, horrible crimes in the 1930s and 1940s. How did this happen? And worse, how did it happen when it was often the elite, the intellectuals, the most cultured people of Germany who did the same? It's a great paradox that affects that many historians, artists, writers have pondered over the last 80 years. And Jordan Peterson has absolutely explored this passionately, but very much, I guess, from a kind of almost a religious point of view. Is it the loss of faith in God that led Germany astray? Or what is it? Is it technocratic elites? Is it cultural Marxists? So although this Jordan Peterson video has gathered more than 1.5 million views, and I've got to say, good on him. I wish I'd been able to do that. I don't think it is actually the best guide for you if you're curious to answer those same questions. What happened in Germany? How can I respond compassionately and empathetically to all the people who are involved in that circumstance without in any way condoning the horrible crimes that were committed? To his credit, Jordan Peterson doesn't just rely on his own training as a psychologist, his own sort of Jungian bent for interpreting psychology. He also uses the skills of the Scottish-American historian Neil Ferguson. And Neil Ferguson really outlines a view that Germany went down a certain path that America didn't. And you'll have to watch Jordan Peterson's video to really know the answer he offers. But I find in my Substack that I don't think it is a very satisfying answer. And what's more, it doesn't really make use of so much of the best history that has been written about this period. Now, part of the problem with Germany in the 1930s and 1940s is there are so many books on it, and so many of the books are about one person. We all know who it is, and it kind of, you lose the sense of what it was actually like to be an ordinary German trying to work out what was going on in all the moral complexity of that. I think Jordan Peterson should be credited for trying to get inside the psychology of people in those circumstances. It's been something that has interested him for a very long time. But I find that his take on the German problem is not that interesting. And I think one of the reasons is he hasn't really explored the best history that there is. And often when you do look at the best history, you'll find that they don't simply construct it as a unique problem for Germany. It's not necessarily just a German problem. It's a problem of modern 20th century history. It's a problem of human destructiveness almost. And that's what I explore in the Substack. And I point you to some better ways of exploring it yourself. One of those ways is to look at some really quality books, one of which is this book by Konrad Jaroch, Broken Lives, How Ordinary Germans Experienced the 20th Century, which is fabulous. It looks at, the autobiographies of people who went through this. And the second is his other book, Out of the Ashes, A New History of Europe in the 20th Century. And it's not just a history of Germany, it's a history of Europe. And, the problems of Germany wrestling with modernism in culture and politics were exceptional and dark, but they were not unique to Germany. Similar kinds of problems were experienced in other countries, especially across Europe. And I look into that and give you more details about the book in those two books, and some other recommendations on this period in my new Substack, Why Jordan Peterson is Wrong about the German problem and what to read to get some better history. And what I also say is that one of the things you can also do is imagine yourself in those times before everyone knew what the answer was by exploring some good historical fiction, including the fabulous historical fiction crime drama series Babylon Berlin. In many ways, that will give you a better emotional feel for the German problem, which is really the problem of modern society and modern culture, than watching Jordan Peterson's video. Although I do recommend you watch it and make up your own mind. But if you're also interested in wanting to learn more about Babylon Berlin as a way of exploring modern history and German history, then why not watch this video right here that I've just developed on that question. And I'll be back next week to tell you about my next Substack. Take care now.